Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Horn Call podcast. My name is James Bold, and I'm the publications editor for the International Horn Society, and I'm your host. My guest today is the brand new vice president of the International Horn Society, J. Bernardo Silva, a highly regarded soloist, chamber musician, teacher, and orchestral player hailing from Portugal, but he's got an international reputation. He's just a wonderful person to talk to. And like my interview with Haragundes Tavares, the IHS president, Bernardo has got some really great ideas for moving the IHS forward and continuing to make it a great resource for horn players all over the world. I'll let our conversation speak for itself, but I'll just give you a kind of overview. We talk about how he balances a very busy working schedule with, family obligations and keeping his own personal practicing up, some of his goals and ideas for the International Horn Society, some of his personal stories about studying with Ab Koster in Germany, and then some recommendations and thoughts he has about Portuguese composers for the horn. So you're definitely going to want to check out some of these composers that Bernardo mentions. He's a very warm, caring person who seems to, obviously have the best interests of the IHS at heart. So I hope you enjoy my conversation with Bernardo Silva. If you're like me, I think you're probably getting more and more excited as the days go by about IHS 54, which is going to be held at Texas A&M University in Kingsville next August in 2022. It's going to be an in-person symposium, and I'm dearly looking forward to seeing lots and lots of friends and making lots of new ones, of course. So I hope that you will join myself as well as hundreds of horn players from all over the world at IHS 54 next August in Kingsville, Texas. So without further ado, here's my interview with Bernardo Silva. Thank you so much for speaking with me today. I want to welcome you and congratulate you again on your recent election as the Vice President of the International Horn Society.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Yeah.
And, I'm very excited with this new position. I think it will be a difficult task, but I will do my best.
Well, you've already served on the advisory council, so you know the major things going on in the society. You've been active as a soloist and teacher and orchestral and chamber music performer for many, many years. And I was kind of teasing you before we started recording. I remember you very kindly sent me one of your CDs several years ago, and we've chatted back and forth a few times over the years. And you've always been very kind to me and supportive of the IHS and horn playing. So thank you again for that. Bernardo, do you want to, for those who may not know who you are or may not be as familiar with, the musical culture and what's going on in Portugal, do you want to talk a little bit about what it is that you're doing professionally right now?
Sure. So I'm Portuguese. I was born in Porto, in the city, and I started to play the French horn. I was 12. So now I'm 42. So I have 30 years career with my instrument, and currently I'm playing co-principal or assistant principal horn in Orquestra Sinfónica do Porto, Casa, Música. So I'm in the same orchestra for 20 years for since 2000, so more than 20 years. I started in the beginning mainly as fourth horn player, but in time, and I've always wanted to do more, and I was seeking also to play other parts, and now I'm playing most of the time, changing from first to third and the other way around. And for me, I think is the best position when I can have fun and not the big responsibilities of a principal horn all the time. And also, I'm teaching. I'm teaching in 3 different schools, and in Aveiro University, and also in Porto, Esmai is another school with the same range of students, and another institution that is like a conservatory with younger students. And so I have currently I'm teaching a lot, but I'm enjoying a lot. I'm loving it because I can work from students from 15 to 24 and really enjoying the improvements and trying. Also, for me, it's a way of getting better and understanding more the things about the horn. So that's it. And after that, I'm trying also to do my concerts. I have I play a lot with the horn quartet, or also Trompas Lusas is the name. Also, I play in duo with piano. Recently, we have made a recording. Hopefully, in the end of the year, will be ready. And so I try always to balance these things, and of course the family. So
it's always a balancing act, but you seem to be doing a magnificent job at it. I certainly want to talk a little bit more about, we were mentioning before I started recording about the training system, at least for horn players in Portugal. It seems to be something really special. Just the number of great horn players that people should be aware of. That in Portugal, you mentioned, Ricardo Matosinhos and Abel Pereira, just some really fantastic players, and yourself as well. So is the orchestra pretty busy these days? Are they back to giving concerts regularly, or kind of coming back to things?
In the moment, we have the summer vacations.
Okay.
So we will start in September, and almost a regular season, almost. So we have, in the moment, we are not playing, this big symphonic works like Mahler, but we are playing already Bruckner or Brahms or Respighi. We have already fun programs to do. So now also this week we have the news from the government that it is accept half of the people inside every auditorium. Okay. So it's getting better.
Yeah, slowly. There's been a lot of setbacks. We think we're kind of in the clear, and then something happens to set things back. But that I'm glad to hear that. I'm happy for you. So is it a pretty busy schedule with the orchestra once the season starts? Rehearsals more or less every day, and then 2 or 3 concerts on the weekend or something like that.
Yeah, it's very busy. We don't normally. Porto, it's a big, it's a second city of Portugal, but in our dimension, of course, it's a big city. But I can say that it's not a very big city, so it's enough. We do 1 concert a week normally, maybe two times in a month. We double the concerts. So let's say in 1 month we have 6-7 concerts normally. But sometimes we also have some tours. For instance, in October we have a concert in Germany, in Cologne, Cologne Philharmonie. So it's will be fun. Yeah, program also. It's very interesting. So with playing full time in an orchestra and also teaching in 3 schools, you can understand that it's much too much to do already. But I had found some time also to dedicate to International Horn Society, because it's a passion.
Well, that's good to hear. And you were pretty active at the recent IHS 53. I watched a good part of your warm up session that you gave in not just English but also in Portuguese, and it was
Spanish.
Oh, in Spanish, in 3 languages. That's incredible.
Yeah, I think it's one of the missions that I want to pursue in my time with the International Horn Society. It's to have more space to another languages, and also because I know I go often to Spain to teach and to perform, and many students maybe don't know the International Horn Society too well, because they have sometimes some difficulties to speak or to understand the English. So I'm preparing a warm-up session for the International Horn Symposium, and I will do it in Portuguese, of course, for my students, for also for the Portuguese students and Brazilian, and for sure also in Spanish, because for Spanish, of course, but also for the Latin American students, to have also the possibility to have a presentation in their language. I think is important.
No, I agree completely. I wish my knowledge of other languages was better. English is about the only language I can speak. I know a little bit of Spanish, but not very much at all. So I really appreciate the efforts that you and, of course, Aragundis, our new president of the IHS. I'm sure it's going to be a really exciting time. Actually, kind of keeping with that theme of the IHS, what got you involved with it? Was it something you knew about coming up as a student, or what got you kind of interested in joining first and then taking a more active role?
Yeah, the first I was quite young. I was my second teacher, Bogdan Sevestic, that's also a member for a long time of International Horn Society, and now is also my colleague in the orchestra. And he came to Portugal in the 80s to play. He's from Czech Republic, and he came to Portugal. It was him that introduced us the International Horn Society. And it was always a very special moment when he received the horn call, and all the students he joined all the students in the classroom, and we all discovered together every page, and that at the time I was it's since I started, for me. I had a passion for CDs, for postcards, everything that had a horn player there. For me, was incredible. I collect everything, and I remember the one in particular horn call that was a tribute to Barry Tuckwell. I think it's around 93 or 94, and inside there was. Like a postcard of him, very very classy photo. It's after there was the same with Herman Bauman and all this, and also every year in every symposium there was a poster inside. So we collect the posters on the wall of the room. So this created atmosphere that for me, in the moment that I have possibilities to pay my own membership, it was clear I want to be a member, and for me it was like I'm in the same club of Herman Bauman, of Barry Tuckwell, of Dale Clevenger, or all this Freud is Rebecca, all these people. I was also member like them. For me it was this kind of motivation, and also for me what was clear, I want to be horn player, but not just in a Portuguese family. I think for me it was already clear that I want to be in the worldwide family of the horn playing, just giving my contribution. And many times I tell to students, or for some friends also, that ask me, but what International Horn Society does, or what can I take from of advantage from the International Horn Society? And before answer that, I tell them, I think the first goal is what you can give to the International Horn Society, because if everyone gives their best, someone will collect something. It's sharing. It's this idea of sharing and being the same family. It's for me, it's the principle.
No, I love that, and you and I are almost exactly the same age. I'll be 42 here in about a month or so. So we probably grew up, just before the internet, right? Like early mid 90s, and I had a very similar experience with the horn call. It was my connection to the world of horn playing. People I had, only before heard on recordings. I could read an interview with them, or, read about the warm-up that they like to do, or, all of this stuff. And, we've kind of seen as, we get into the 21st century more, there's the groups on Facebook and, all of the different things you can get on the internet. I'm sure you've shared some ideas with me in the past about ways that the Horn Society can continue to stay engaged and relevant. And what do you see as the future of the IHS in terms of staying involved with the world of horn when it's not just the horn call anymore? There's so many other things.
Yes, the International Horn Society, I think, has a very important role, because is the opportunity to assemble more and more the horn players, and to have the opportunity to forget the all these political difficulties that we have in some in other methods and other subjects. In music, I think we can avoid that, and we can create a more human world. So, and International Society, for me, it's depends on us. We are depending of the horn players, and not about governments, or we can create our opportunities, we can create our scholarships. It's very important for the students, for sure. We can create our programs of motivating more compositions for the horn players to play, and so it's there is always a role for the International Horn Society. We have to be, of course, aware of the needs. For sure, the needs now are a little bit different from 20 years ago or 30 years ago. But there will be needs, there will be ideas to improve, to get the International Horn Society more flexible, of course, more modern, and to answer faster to the necessities of the members. I think that is important.
Yeah, and I think kind of looking back on my experiences with the IHS, I was fortunate that I was able to go to some international horn symposia fairly early on, and that they're inspiring. You hear so many different kinds of great horn playing and meet so many people, and then after a certain point, I had gotten so many great experiences because of the IHS that I wanted to try to contribute to it in some way. So I hope that that's a similar situation that happens with enough people to where the IHS offers something that they find valuable, and then eventually in turn they think about ways that they can contribute back to the society.
Yeah, exactly. It was the same with me. I was finishing I was in the high school and university, and I read about the Farkas competition. It's a solo competition of the International Horn Society, and I tried. I want to try that, and I had the possibility to compete in the final in Liexa, in the International Horn Symposium. This was in 2002. And it was incredible, I was in the final with the two fantastic horn players also, and in the jury was Herman Baumann, Freudis Rivecker, and it's so many so great horn players, and also enjoying all that week. With so wonderful concerts in Finland. It was really, really fantastic. I had the possibility to see incredible horn players from the States that came for this festival, but also fantastic horn players from the Nordic countries, and also from Russia. So it was a really world-class mix. It was very, very different ways of playing. Especially in that moment, it was still possible to see and to see these different approaches of horn playing. And for me, it was that moment. I was competing. I got to the prize. I received a scholarship, and that also, of course, was the moment. I get something from the International Horn Society, but I love it. Of course, for me, it was a turning point for my career. I'm telling that in speaking about the mentality. It was a moment you take a prize as in a solo competition. I think it changes your perspective. You before you were okay in your home, and after you know that you can be abroad, you can play with other players, you can be confident about that. It's something that also when we were speaking before about the Portuguese horn players, we have a quite good level, but in the last years, last decade, we had this confidence of playing abroad, the playing for the other countries, and don't be shy because we are from Portugal. No, we are okay with that. We are okay of our country, of our education, and I think we have also a mix of schools of different approaches that at the end it's I think a little bit special too.
Well, it certainly seems to be working working really well. I was going to ask you about that. So when you were coming up and getting your musical education, who were your role models? Who did you look up to as horn players and as musicians?
Um, like I said before, I collect all the recordings I get. I have all the recordings that I have the possibility to collect, and I was really loving the differences from each school. For instance, I loved to see the differences of playing in the States. First, I was enjoying a lot of the recordings of Mason Jones, Myron Bloom, and Dave Clevenger, especially those three. And also, of course, Philip Myers. These were the guys that in my generation we could listen, and I was really enjoying. After also these recordings from Sumit Brass, also fantastic horn players, and in Europe, of course, there was plenty of horn players. My idol of all time is Herman Baumann. So it's a very special person, and I'm happy to say that, of course, I consider him as a friend because we stay in contact for every year, and also, of course, Dennis Brain, Barry Tuckwell, Ab Koster, many horn players. So, but I was enjoying to see the different approaches of playing, and I kept an idea of trying to form an identity of horn player that I would like to be, because of course you can enjoy a recording, you can enjoy a way of playing, but you have to create your own. Because if you just want to copy that is not like that, So I was learning how to things are different styles. I think that is very important. Trying to understand different approaches of different schools: English way, French way, Italian, German. Even in Germany, there was Hermann Baumann, Peter Dam, and Norbert Hauptmann, and all play different. You can understand different techniques, different ways of playing. So I was like this, trying to understand a little bit from here and from that. And when I started to receive my horn call, I was also seeing the directory, once a year, one, and I was also there was not already internet, but I collected the addresses, and I tried to book some lessons and try to search from some master classes, and my first master classes were not in Portugal, were in Czech Republic, in Germany, or in Spain, and I had to travel for 1 or 2 or 3 days to get there and to have the possibility to play for these people that I was, a fan, an admirer. So it was like this, to have this kind of goals.
And so is that what led you to study with Ab Koster? Yes. How did you end up going over there to study with him?
My first goal was trying to study with Herman Baumann, but it was that moment that he got his stroke, and he left the school. So he advised me to study with the persons that he has totally trust, and he advised me Thomas Müller in Bern or Ab Koster in Hamburg. And in that moment I was studying. I went to Lisbon to study, and there was a possibility to do in the second year Erasmus, and I was accepted in Hamburg, and I was there for a semester. It was in '99, but I had an incredible time in Hamburg with Ab Koster. It's Ab Koster. It's I think the best person in the world. It's a fantastic horn player and a fantastic teacher. And for me, it was an incredible time because I had the possibility to work with him and to also to live in a city that is beautiful and has a very good orchestras. So it was also a moment that I had a very good improvement.
Did you study like orchestral excerpts or solo literature or everything?
Both. Yeah, I was just studying horn and have just horn, some orchestral excerpts and chamber music, and a couple of orchestral weeks. I think also once I had also modern music project. Okay. So I have really focused on my playing, and like I said, I had the possibility to create a fantastic relationship with Ab Koster, and it's also a person that I still have in contact. Not every day, but almost every week or every month. So it's even now, if I have it's like my mentor, if I have some doubt or I need some advice of teaching or of horn playing, it's the person that I completely trust.
That's fantastic. Could I ask you a little bit about your quartet, the Trompas, Lusas? How did that group get formed? And you all sound fantastic. I've heard your recordings. It's really, really fantastic playing. Are you all Portuguese horn players or come from all over Europe?
Yeah, we are all Portuguese, and we came from the same school. We played. We are not all the four at the same age, but more or less we have been colleagues in Artav. That is this kind of school that we have. It's a professional music school, and we all passed there. So we have this project of playing together. And playing music and enjoying the horn quartet, and we have this plan being delayed until the moment that we decided this is the moment. There was someone asked to conductor asked a friend because he loved the Concertstück from Schumann. And asked for a quartet to play that the piece, and we said this is the moment. So we started to play in quartet with Schumann Concertstück. So it was nice because we have a very difficult goal to achieve, and so we had I think 1 or 2 months to prepare that, and it went very nice. And so we take this experience to keep searching for repertoire and also, of course, to play the masterpieces that have been written for horn quartet. And it's it's so fantastic because we play instrument, of course, that we love, but also we can see that it's same with the composers. It's if you want to play horn quartet, you have compositions from Paul in the Meat, or from the best composers of chamber music. If you want, or even like we were speaking, Robert Schumann. If you want to play music for horn and piano, you have plenty of music from the greatest composers. It's so we are blessed, really.
Yeah. Speaking of composers, I'm not an expert on it at all, but I know there are some really great Portuguese composers that not enough people know about. I know a little bit of Carapatojo's works. He's got a lot of stuff with horn and voice and some horn and piano. Are there any composers in Portugal who've written good things for horn that people should look into and check out?
Yeah, for sure. Yes, you told Eurico Carrapatoso has fantastic pieces. Yeah. Also, I have premiered a few sonatas from Sérgio Azevedo, and also our quartet we have already played 2 sonatinas, and I'm waiting to premiere a concertino for horn and strings, also from Sérgio Azevedo. So it's definitely a composer to know more. And also Luis Tinoco has written a concerto for horn that Abel premiered in a symposium in, I'm not sure the place, but he premiered a concerto for horn and orchestra from Luis Tinoco. And also I have been working with Anne Vitorino de Almeida. It's a woman composer. It's very gifted. She's really composing beautiful works. Also Ricardo Matosinhos, as you said,
Ricardo
is working a lot, and is a very talented horn player and composer. And I think in the next years there will be more and more compositions from Portuguese composers, because also I'm always picking, it's trying to motivating these composers to write more and more. So there will be more interesting pieces.
Yeah, and my main connection to that is I look at Ava Editions, the website. They have a lot of Portuguese composers. Is that the best way to find this music, or should we be looking at like the composers' websites?
Yeah, I think the best is it's easier. Most of the Portuguese composers, are in Ava Musical Editions. So I think is the best way to looking.
Okay, I'll put a link to that with the podcast episode. So,
perfect.
Yeah, and I don't know how much in postage I've paid for shipping from Portugal, but I've ordered a lot of music from there. Also, Phoenix Editions has some things by Ricardo as well. Yeah. So, no, that's excellent.
Also, Editions BIM from Switzerland. Has edited the Suite Rústica from Carrapatoso, and there is other Portuguese compositions there too.
That's great. You're very busy as a performer and teacher, and there's probably a lot of students listening to this. So how do you keep all of this balanced? How do you keep your playing in shape and making sure that you are staying at the top of your game playing wise and preparing for the orchestra and various concerts? What kind of a routine do you have?
It's very demanding because I have to be fit, Right in this moment, I'm in holidays, but I cannot be more of 3-4 days without playing, because after I'm already thinking that in 2 weeks I have to play Tilo and Spiegel or a concert or so, so I have to be aware of that. And so for me, it's very important also to be fit in the orchestra, to have a good warm-up every day before of the rehearsal. And if I have a good warm-up, I will be fit for the rehearsal, and also I will be already okay for the day. If I have the possibility to practice more after the rehearsal, perfect. But most of the time I am teaching, so I will be playing also with students, and of course I have to take when I have some free time, I have also to practice the pieces, because I have to explain and to know the difficulties and the challenges for the students. So I have to take care of the warm-up, and also to take care of the main repertoire, the solo repertoire, and the orchestra excerpts. So this is demanding, and this is I have to be very organized. So even in the weekends, normally people go take some time, but before that I have also to take be sure that I have the things for the next week of the orchestra and the pieces for the lessons prepared.
Well, and I can say, I having watched your warm-up video from IHS 53 and looking at the publication of all of this stuff, it's very thorough. I mean, it covers everything: high, low, flexibility, stopped horn, multiple tonguing. So it's everybody should check out Bernardo's warm-up video available on IHS 53. And yeah, you just submitted your the routine and daily exercises to be published through the IHS, and that you're from what I've been told, that the proceeds from that are going to be donated back to the IHS, which is very generous of you. So thank you for doing that.
No, I want to be available for the people, for the people who needs it. For me, it's I did it thinking in the first moment of my students, of course, but also in my future students, and also in my former students. So there is many people that have great skills that sometimes need some orientation or some motivation to be more organized and to have a more clear routine every day. So of course there is people that don't need that. So perfect, there's no problem. But if someone needs that, I want to be assured that I can help them. So that was also the reason that I made in different languages, and now I prepared the material to be available on the music sales, and but I'm not looking for profit. I'm just this is a warm up. It's not it's something that I do for myself and for the students. So I think, of course, there is some work there, a lot of work, but also if there is some profit, I want to give to the International Society, because it's a way of helping.
Well, that's very kind and very inspiring. I hope that more people do that kind of stuff. So. Well, Bernardo, thank you again for taking the time to speak with me today. Is there anything maybe in Portuguese you'd like to share with maybe some of the Portuguese listeners? If you could maybe make a plug for the IHS or something.
Viva! Então, queria só mandar um abraço a todos os trompistas portugueses e que falem língua portuguesa e que estejam a assistir a este podcast e dizer que é um prazer estar a colaborar com a International Horn Society e portanto, possivelmente já terão conhecimento que eu neste momento fui eleito vice-presidente da International Horn Society, e o que eu espero neste cargo é contribuir para uma maior unificação da família trompística e que todos possamos contribuir, e assim, contribuindo mais, também poderemos aproveitar mais de estarmos todos numa família, independentemente do país e da língua que possamos falar. Portanto, um abraço, e caso não sejam membros da International Horn Society, por favor, considerem sê-lo, porque é uma sensação incrível. Obrigado.
Wonderful. Thank you. No, I think that's fantastic, and thank you so much for doing that. Well, I think that's probably a good place to stop for today, and thank you again for speaking with me.
No, it's a pleasure. Really, congratulations also for the work you have been doing as editor of the Horn Call and the podcast. So also, it's a pleasure to speak with all our community. So, thank you.
Great, thank you.